Hello and welcome to the Brew Is Back, uncut and uncensored. I am your host, Erickka Jones, and welcome to the 5th episode of this podcast. Oh my goodness, we are cooking now. We are really cooking. And this is part two. Part two, a continuation of last week's episode, which was the rise of Pan Africanism and the Back to Africa movement. Yes, we are talking about just that. There is a renewed sense of unity that is happening on the planet right now amongst Black people of African descent. And if you are of African descent and you're in tune, then I bet you can feel it. It is an energy that is inspiring a lot of us to look towards Africa, look towards home, a return. Now, as a little recap, last week we talked about what inspired this conversation. I'm an Africa stan from the time I was a little girl, and I saw Roots, the TV series. I'm dating myself. And I just felt a connection from that point on. So there's the fact that this country is, trying to take us back. They are actively, not even trying, they are actively taking us back in time. They are actively making things harder and worse for us, So there's that inspiration to really look at Africa as home. There is Ibrahim Traore. Come on now, give it up for this man.
Okay, y'all, please forgive me because I am going to mispronounce Ibrahim Traore's name 20,000 times. I keep saying Traore.
Leaders are so important because there are those leaders that when they show up and you start hearing their voices, they speak to you. They speak to you in a way that calls you to attention.
Homeland, we all know the risks involved. We have given up our entire lives for this. Why be afraid? We have given up all our youth for a mission for the homeland. So there is no fear. You can remain without fear. Zero fear. They are waiting for us to have accounts over there so they can one day get up and say, you do this or we close? They will never have our accounts over there. We don't care about having accounts over there. There you go. We have no property there and we will never have any property. Everything we do is for Burkina. If Burkina is at peace, we don't even want to leave our Burkina. We are at peace here. AES is a large space. If we want to go sightseeing, we go to Bamako, Niamey, or I don't know, to other cities. We don't care about going elsewhere. We are comfortable in our space here. They don't know the Burkinabe. We are not just emotion. We know where we are heading now. People have understood the essence of our struggle. We are not afraid. We have never been afraid because we have had the chance, I would say, to be on the ground and to live through situations where we should have lost our lives long ago. I'm telling you, there are situations we've come out of. We don't know how. It is God, He alone, who knows how we got out of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here standing today. Often I sit down, it's true, I think about certain things and on the ground, and I say to myself, but how? But God knows what He is doing. There you have it. So,
and it even inspires you to action. It can inspire you to fight.
Go to Burkina Faso and join the army. You go and sleep at the roundabout like the people are protecting. You go and stand outside his palace and fight for him. We're ready. Nobody, please, we're ready to come to your country. Send for us.
It can inspire you to move.
And since President Captain Ibrahim Traore has gone viral, I've seen a lot of people show interest in Africa, and I've been getting a lot of different questions about things over here on the ground.
It can get you out of a slump, wake you all the way up. So that's another reason that I am talking about, Pan Africanism, because I'm feeling it, because so many of us are feeling it. It is a real energy that is permeating across the globe right now. So we're just a part of it. So it becomes more real the more that we acknowledge what's going on and the more we lean in. So I'm leaning all the way into conversations about African unity and what that means and what a strong Africa can mean for all of us. So that's where we are right now. And that's where the Brew Is Back is on episode 5, on episode 4 and 5. So another reason that I made this a part 2, as I said last week, is
Listen, y'all, I know that I said that I was going to have a third guest, Tim Ford Jr., Memphis born, now living with his wife and his 2 kids in Tanzania. However, this episode was getting so long. It was getting so freaking long. And I just did not want to cut not one thing from our interview.
And we had such a great candid interview. I really searched long and hard, and I stalked this man because I really wanted to find someone who had moved to Africa and was living on the continent.
So I left America and moved over to East Africa, Tanzania almost 5 years ago, and I've been documenting my journey through Instagram and YouTube and telling people what's possible and showing them the real about what's going on the ground over here.
Where he was just very candid. And anytime a Black man is just vulnerable and really putting himself out there.
Like, there's still some healing that I have to do. Like, it's not just I came to Africa and boom, that's it.
To him, it just makes for a great conversation. So
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tim. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Do you want me to call you Miss Erickka or Erickka? How would you like me to address
Erickka is fine.
you? Okay. How you doing today, Erickka?
I'm good. And just to let you know, I'm already recording. I like to just get, everything just, But thank you so much
You're
for agreeing to speak with me. I appreciate it so
You're
much.
You're
Oh my
welcome. No problem.
goodness.
Thank you for having me.
So just tell me, it's early there. Is it like 7 a.m.?
Yeah, it's like 7, probably 7:10 now. 7 in the
Okay.
morning, yeah.
So tell me, what time what do you do there, and what time does your day start? Like, would you normally be up at this time? Are you up earlier? What's your day?
Mm-hmm. A typical day for me is I wake up. I have to, of course, play with my 2 children for a while. They're very adamant on playing right now. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I can't walk through the house without asking to be tickled. So, I have to spend time with them in the morning and give them their time. And then after that, I spend some time with my wife. We try to discuss the budget, see what our plans are for the day. And then I'll sometimes call my assistant, depending on the assignment that we have and the work that we're trying to do. I'll speak with my assistant and see what we're going to do for the day and script some videos. I watch a lot of YouTube and get a lot of information from different sources about what's going on in Africa and the different news that I need to talk about on my platform. So I watch a lot of videos, and I'm watching a lot of news outlets in my space that's giving me the knowledge that I need to be able to pass back to my people so I can be up to date with what's going on. And I watch a lot of inspirational videos. Myron Golden, I know we all know Myron Golden.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to overcome overwhelm, or how to tap in, or how to access the superpower of weakness.
I get a lot of inspiration from what he does and how I want to reach the level that he's at. And working out and meeting people. I like to meet people here on the ground too. Those who come here, I had a chance to help hundreds of thousands of people that's come on the ground and want to, just touch bases and have a conversation and see how they can move and do things. So helping people is a big part of my day too, depending on the people, because people getting crazy. So I've minimized that a lot. People get to watch the content now more so than anything. But yeah, it's typically doing work. We got the community here. We got a 78-acre eco village, so I have to make sure that things are being built and taken care of over there, and meeting with government officials here in town. So the day, it can go many ways.
So let me ask you, how did you end up in Tanzania?
My wife, she had a dream that the mountain of Kilimanjaro was in the background, and we were in like the wilderness. It was me and her, and she felt God tell her to help pave the way back to Africa. So when she told me she had that dream, I was like, okay, yeah, it's time for us to go to Africa. So she's a big part of why we're doing this. And Magufuli, the president at the time during the pandemic and everything, he was very bold and speaking the truth about what they were doing with the media and how they were attempting to fearmonger us. So us seeing that, we realized that this was a good country for us to come and try to be a part of. We never felt the pull to Ghana and like the Western countries, like a lot of people talking about. We never really like was interested in that. It was always Africa and then Tanzania. Ghana was never really on our radar. Yeah.
Did y'all visit
I like
beforehand?
No, we didn't visit. During the George Floyd situation, it was very, very tough to be in America. At the time, my son was like 9 or 10 months. And I was like, man, this ain't it. Like, I don't want to keep my son in this environment. And our lease was about to be up in our apartment at that time. So we had to go house hunting. And when we were house hunting, we didn't feel it. We were like, okay, what are we going to do? We prayed about it. And then we asked God. We had always talked about Africa. We said one day we would retire over here if we could. But we didn't think about it at that point. But when we couldn't find anywhere to stay and then the George Floyd situation happened, it was a chain of events that really let us know that it was time for us to go. So our lease was about to be up in George Floyd, and my son was growing up, and I didn't want to keep him in that environment, so it was worth the risk at that time. So.
Growing up, did you just like love Africa? Did you ever envision yourself living there? Was there ever like a love affair?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, no. It never was really a love affair for Africa. I always had a love affair with not ending up in the same situation I saw my family in. That was my love affair. I knew growing up, like, that wasn't it. Like, this dysfunction, the way that we operate, like, something ain't right about this. So I always, before I moved to Africa, I left Memphis and moved to Nashville. So my first jump wasn't even from Memphis. I left Memphis and went 3 hours away over to Nashville. So that was actually harder for me to leave from Memphis to Nashville than it was from Nashville to Africa. So my vision for my life has always been putting myself in the best position so that I don't repeat the same mistakes I seen made in my family.
What were some things that you didn't want to repeat? What could you say, just a couple of things or what that was?
Yeah, good question. So basically the most important thing was the dysfunction in the home. I didn't want to create a son that didn't have a married family. I didn't want to be a baby father and have a baby mother and put my son in that type of dynamic. I wanted to have a healthy relationship and
The
be in an
connection is
environment
doing
where
the reconnecting thing, but
sometimes you got to find the perfect location.
Right. Okay.
Let me know when it looks better.
So let's keep walking. Let's keep walking.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's see what we can do.
So let's see. Okay. See, that sounds pretty good right now. Okay. So I'm even going to take it back again. You said you wanted to, you didn't want to repeat some patterns from your family. And so you're kind of moving around to kind of escape that. So what were some of those things?
Yeah, like the single familyness, the dysfunction that we deal with in our families, the lack of trust, and the lack of being able to work together as a people. The jealousy, the hatred, the envy. I'm not going to say my family was like big in jealousy, hatred, and envy, but there was a little bit of dysfunction in terms of like the way that the family dynamic was set up. I remember I just did a podcast video about this. My son just asked me like 5 or 6. Well, he asked me a few days ago. He told me he know who his wife is. And he's 5. And I remember being 5 and I was asking my dad when I'm going to have my own baby mama. So that's the type of thing that I wanted to avoid. Yeah, so I remember being young and asking my dad, like, hey, Dad, I want to have a baby mama just like you. And I remember seeing a disappointment. He was like, son, this ain't what you want. Like, trust me. I know what you see, but, you should have you a wife. Yeah. And he taught me that. So I've been going towards that. I saw that me coming from a single mother household, I saw what it did to my mom. I saw the struggles that she had to go through and how hard it was for her. So I didn't want to put another woman through that. So those been my main focus, is just getting in a better position so that I can raise my family the right way. And I knew America wasn't it. After doing my research and I saw and I learned about the system that they put in place, and I learned how they strategically did things to keep us in that situation, took our fathers away from our homes, giving our mothers food stamps, like doing little slick things like that. It made me realize, like, there used to be frustration with my people, but it's more so the system now. Like I'm still frustrated with my people because we made some bad decisions, but I understand that there was a system put in place that knows how we think, that understand how we operate. So they put certain things along our paths to trip us from keeping our families together. Because my father wanted this, he was working towards this, but the system had so many pitfalls in place that he fell victim to one of them, or a few of them. So I just wanted to do better and get out of that environment because it wasn't worth it. I saw the outcome of it.
Tim, we're gonna have to move. We're gonna have to move again.
No problem, Erickka. No problem. Let's keep working.
Now let me ask you, how
Okay.
has Africa helped you as far as that raising that family ideal? Has it helped you, or in what ways has it helped you?
So it has helped, but honestly, there's still some parts that I've learned that I'm affected by the system in. Like there's still some healing that I have to do. Like it's not just I came to Africa and boom, that's it. No, because I was taught some stuff, some toxic things that's within me that I have to fix as a father and as a husband too. Africa like shows you the real you. It's not just the heal all be all. It reveals who you are and how you're gonna deal with certain situations. So, me coming from that toxic environment, I learned that some of those toxic traits are within me. So I have to be real with myself and heal from them and don't repeat the same cycle. So I'm not gonna say, nah, I brought my son here and we didn't have any toxic things. Nah, unfortunately, some things came up where I have to work on as a father and as a man that have to fix so I don't repeat certain cycles. So it just revealed it, and it's easier for me to work on it here rather than in America. There's so many more distractions. There's so many things that can pull you away from what you're supposed to be doing in America. But while I'm here, I can really sit in it and really fix what's wrong with me so that I can help those that's coming after me or with me.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
okay. I hear that. Now, did I see that you guys live on a farm? Is that it?
So we don't live on the farm. We have a farm. So the farm is probably an hour away from where we're living, but we incorporated a farm through my YouTube channel and my Instagram. I invited a lot of our subscribers and viewers to invest with us in a farm over here. So we incorporated a farm where we, with the goal and the vision to sell herbs and products and feed the entire world. So we're not living out there, but we have one.
Got it, got it. So, how did your family react when you said, "Hey, you and your wife's family," when I said, "Hey, we're moving to Africa, we're moving to Tanzania"?
Yeah, they thought we were crazy. Honestly, they didn't get it. They felt like we were losing our mind. I was always different. I always did things off the wall, so they expected it. But Africa was on another level for them. They thought we were crazy. Honestly, like only one of a few our friends, our close friends, they knew. They like, oh yeah, this is what they gonna do. This is their journey. But a lot of our family members, they were like, oh man, here they go again with something crazy.
Hmm. Have they
Yeah.
been to visit? Have you had friends or family visit yet?
Not yet. So I've had two of my friends were about to come, but they had some flight issues. They changed the way that they ask for flights. And they making them you got to have the same debit card where you purchase your ticket with it and everything. So they ran into some complications at the airport on their way out. So yeah, nobody
Got
has
it.
come yet.
What are some of the misconceptions that people, African Americans, have about making such a move, even visiting, let alone moving?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say the biggest misconception is we're hated. Like there's this thought that our African brothers and sisters hate us. We were trained to think that, and they taught us that we hate each other. So we don't want to look over here. And we were taught that they sold us into slavery. We were taught that there's not much love over here for us, and that's been completely from the truth from what I've learned over here. Like just to change that narrative, I learned that they didn't sell us into slavery willingly. Some of them fought tooth and nail, and some of them were like tricked into doing it, and some of them they put guns to their heads and made them do it. So it wasn't like, oh, just sell them people and get them out of here. It was like, nah, bro, they came and tricked us. Then the slavery before this transatlantic slave trade wasn't the way that slavery is. I mean, it wasn't the way that slavery used to be before the transatlantic slave trade. They didn't do it in cattle slavery like that. It was not indentured. It was servitude. Like that, you would serve for a few years, and then you'll be free to go. It wasn't supposed to be like that. So it was a lot of things that we weren't taught, and that's the biggest one, that they sold us into slavery. They hate us, and that there's like only starving children, no big cities, no thriving opportunities. Like, we weren't taught about this. I didn't see Dar es Salaam, Tanzania until I came here. I didn't know this place even existed, or we can come to something like this. I didn't even know they had a city over here in Tanzania until I got here on the ground. And I started doing research, of course. But yeah, so we've been lied to about the reality of the ground over here. It's more opportunity here than it is in America. Way more. You just gotta have some grit about yourself.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
you would say that you were welcomed, you and your wife were welcomed from the time you got
Oh
over
man.
there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie and say it was all peaches and cream. Like, there are some haters.
Yeah.
There are some people within the culture who don't like us. There's some people who jealous. They think we coming from America. They think we rich, and they think we trying to take over their stuff. So there's still some people with that ignorant mentality that think like that. But for the most part, like, a lot of our people know, a lot of African people know. I've learned that there's a prophecy that they know that someone is supposed to be coming from America to help. They know their brothers and sisters supposed to be coming back from America to help put Motherland back where it needs to be. So a lot of them are feeling that and waiting on us to come back home. Yeah, and we have the skills.
Wow.
We came in America. We figured out how they set up their system. A lot of us have the mentality to set something up properly. Though some of the things that they set up in America is not good. You know, they take advantage of people and they don't have the best interests at heart of people. But it taught us a lot as a people on how to do things and how not to do things. So we can bring our knowledge and our skill set over here to help our people on the continent.
How now you're an ambassador. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm an ambassador for the African Union, AUCS. And with that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm commissioned and charged with putting events and basically connecting people to bring about the Africa we want. So I was doing my content consistently, just doing my work. And one of the people who works in the African Union, they saw my content. And based off of me being consistent and continuing just sound the alarm and show the truth about Africa, they invited me to be an ambassador.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So what in your ideal world, what would be happening? Because yeah,
Mm,
in terms of moving back to Africa, in your vision, what would a
mm,
what would it look like? What's your vision of African Americans in
mm.
Africa and you know?
Wow. That's a good question. It has shifted since I've been here for the past 5 years. I can tell you that. But I would say my vision is for me to be able to have planes and ships to get people who want to leave. Not force anybody. Not say, oh, come on, everybody, come on, let's go. Anybody who feel it, who know they need to be in Africa, I wish I could just have planes and ships just able to get them and bring them over here. And this is the part that's probably gonna throw you off, but I want to just put them in the wilderness so that they can heal. They can't come over here and go right into the culture because they're gonna mess some things up. They're gonna hurt some people, kill some people, and do some crazy things. So I would definitely recommend just just taking them and putting them somewhere where they can just heal and just breathe and detox and really get to know themselves. I used to say just come to Africa, come to the culture, find your city, and get connected with the people, but that's not wise. Our people are so broken from what I've experienced, from what I've seen, and from what we've been through over in America, just truthfully. We don't know how to be a tribe. We don't know how to be a community. We don't even know how to help each other fully yet. So when we get here, it's important that we take some time to detox and really look at our toxic ways and the toxic things that we think about doing and how we act as a people, and then acclimate ourselves into the culture. So yeah, I would love to pick everybody up and get them a chance to get out of there and just show them that some of our people over here really want them back at home, want them over here to come help them in the
Mm-hmm.
ideal world.
Oh, how big is the
Oh yeah,
community of African
yeah.
Americans? Or and yeah.
So They're here. We're here. But we're so spread out. I'll be honest. I can't really give an accurate number, and since I've been here since 2020, there's been a lot of people come and go. Some people say they was gonna be here long term, and then they end up disappearing and not coming back. And some people go into their own pockets of certain communities here. They're here, but it's just the terms. That's why I know and said that we can't come together yet because we don't know how. Like it's been so much clashing amongst people because they don't know how to just be brothers and sisters yet. So it's here, but it's just some toxicity involved as well. Gossiping, murmuring, hating, all of those type of spirits are here as well with the people that have come. So that's something that we're purging and dealing with as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so wow, so do you guys integrate or do you how much do you interact with like say the local folks?
Yeah, so that's the majority of who I work with. That's been the key to my success is the language immersion and me integrating into the culture fully and really embracing being in Tanzania. That's been my secret to my success. I've been able to make good friends within the culture here because I'm respectful to the culture. I'm trying to learn the language. I've learned it and now I'm able to communicate and I have connections and things within the culture. So that's how I've been able to heal and think properly on this level because I was strategic with going into the culture. Not saying I'm all the way there. I still have some mistakes some days and I still have some shortcomings, but for the most part, I'm well aware of what I'm doing and a lot more understanding of the wholeness of what's going on. So yeah, I've
Wow.
integrated
Okay.
with the culture.
Okay. Now, and let me ask you, what is the opportunity for African Americans who would like to come to Africa? What in a place like even Tanzania, what is the opportunity for them?
So I like to tell people when you come over here to Tanzania, it's like you're going back to the 70s or 80s with a cheat sheet. Any industry that you see that's $1 million industry over in America and you feel like you could do that, you can create that from the ground up over here in Tanzania. You can really build you something from the ground up and really create something magical and amazing here if you take that risk. If you have enough capital and you're able to put it in the right place and you have the gift to grow whatever you're focused on, whatever industry, I'm talking about media, industrial, whatever, it's wide open right now, but you just got to stick it out and go through the entire process. You can't just think like, oh, I got me some money. I'm from America. Oh, let me just go. I got it figured out. No, you got to learn the bureaucratic things. You got to learn the people. You got to figure it all out in order for it to be successful. But there's a quote that's out there that says 65% of Africa's millionaire is going to rise within this next decade. So that's a huge opportunity for people with the right mindset and enough capital to position themselves properly. So all these industries are wide open. And a lot of the economists around the world, they are speaking about the potential of Africa.
Wait, one other question. Now you have your young kids. How are they in school? Are they learning the
Yeah.
language? Are they going to an
Yeah.
American school? Is there what? Yeah, tell
Yeah.
me about your kids' experience.
So my children are already fluent in both languages. My 3-year-old and my 5-year-old. My 5-year-old, when we first moved here, we were blessed with a nanny who was very helpful. She made sure that my son knew that language.
Hesabu namba.
Moja, mbili, tatu, nne, tano, sita, saba, nane, tisa, kumi.
Hey, good job, man. Wow, you can count in Swahili. Wow, you smart, man. I love that. Yeah, good job. Okay, now you can go.
The first thing she did, she made sure that he got that under his belt and he was able to speak it fluently. So now, if we're out in town, I can have him translate for me and let me know what other people are saying. My daughter is already, she's starting to pick up and she's doing it too. She's not, of course, not where he is yet, but she's just as good. And they are homeschooled right now. So some days my wife and I will do the English portion. And then we have one of my brothers here who teaches Swahili. And so he comes and teaches them for us as well. So we're about to get ready to send them in the
That's amazing.
preschool. Yeah, we're about to send them to school. We're thinking about Montessori school because, of course, the
Okay.
curriculum and the way that it's set up. But there's Montessori schools here, there's local schools, and they have international schools as well. So it'd be pretty much up to you where you want to go. But our route right now is homeschool, and then we're gonna slowly
Got
but
it.
surely introduce them to Montessori school. And we also had my wife and I. We
Wow.
started the homeschooling. We separated the days, and then we found a company here that actually sends a teacher for you. So there's a company here that will send a homeschool teacher to your house for you, whichever level your child is, and then they'll teach them as well. So we had that with us. Then we had our brother, and then we had a company that came and taught them, and now we're looking into Montessori school. Mm-hmm.
Options. Now, okay,
Yeah.
so wait, now I have to ask, what has been the
Go ahead.
hardest part of the transition?
Oh man, Erickka, the hardest part has been me not being able to connect with my people for real. Like, people know me online now, and you when you meet me online, there's a certain disconnect. There's a certain, like, you don't really know me. Like, people don't know me from online. I'm missing the people that know me to be able to enjoy this with me. Those who know what
Oh,
I've been working on since before the platform built. Those who was in the mud when I was in America, in Memphis, like in the car telling them, like, bro, one day I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Like, one day I wish they could be here and experience these things with me, because I haven't felt that real love. Everybody I've been connecting with, it's been like opportunist love. Like, he's the one doing it, so let's get connected with him. But I miss my family and my people from Memphis that I was able to really, really build with. Well, not build with, but those
yeah,
who really, really know me. Yeah. That's been the
yeah,
toughest part.
yeah, yeah. Because it's interesting when you said that no one had been there yet in 5 years, and I just could imagine that that does have to be a little challenging.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's very
So,
challenging. And then it sucks because
so
I know my dad and my brother wants to come, but child support
mhm.
is not allowing them to come. So, that's another thing. Some of them want to be here, but they can't
Mm.
just because of the system. So it's like, it's tough, man.
That trap.
It's tough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're even trying to break out, when you even want to get out, and it's still
Right.
hard.
Right.
Wow. Your wife been able to make friends?
We've tried to make friends. We've been burned, Erickka. Like, it's just been betrayal after betrayal. Like, we give people opportunities to be our friends, and it's just opportunities, honestly. We've met some good people here and there, but for the most part, it's been mainly opportunities. Majority of the friends have come from in the culture. Like, the people that we meet, that we
Mm.
are able to build something with, are the people who are African. They have a lot more integrity. They have a lot more
Hmm.
what's the word? What's the word, man? It's just a lot realer coming from our African brothers and sisters. Our people that's coming from America, it's just too much toxic things going on, man. They're just trying to
Wow.
take us down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Wow. And tell
Yeah.
me how old you are again. You said, how old did you say you are?
I'm 31. I'm
You're
31. Wow.
31. Okay. And
Ah,
is this the move for you? Would you ever move back to the States?
no. No. Nah. If I don't have
Mm.
to, if God don't send me back, it's not in my will. It's not in my thought process to go back, because I feel like I escaped hell, Erickka. Like, I escaped
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
skin of my teeth. Like, man, I almost, right before I left, I was in an interaction with the police where I escaped. I didn't escape literally, but God made the case work in a way where it was dismissed. But man, I escaped. So I know one
Wow.
wrong move, one wrong
Damn.
thing could really mess you up over there. So I really don't want to put myself in that environment. It's
Mhm.
too stressful. I haven't felt,
And
how we
Tim,
feel when the police. Go ahead.
yes, that's what I was gonna say. You don't feel that
Yeah.
same type of pressure walking around there, that same type of dis-ease.
No, not at all, Erickka. Not at all.
Mm.
I haven't felt that. You know how a heart hit our feet when we see the police car? That's not something I feel anymore. And I'm not
Yep.
trying to go back in that environment and feel that again. So, yeah. I've escaped hell. I'd rather build my own heaven over here.
Damn, I love it. I love it. Wow, Tim, I think that hits it. Hey y'all, and just when you thought it was over, I have one more question for him. Something started happening. I started hearing about some unrest somewhere in Africa. There's a lot of fighting that goes on throughout Africa. And why? Because the colonizers have their hands still controlling a lot, and they will support rebels and people who they'll get people out of office that don't support them, which is what they're trying to do to Ibrahim Traore. He's not all about France taking all the money and the resources. He's putting an end to it. So they want him gone. And it made me just think about, like, shoot, there is that part when there's unrest, when there's war. How does that relate to us? And I have my own experience when I was married to an Ivorian man for almost 20 years, like 18 years, a man from Ivory Coast. And so we went to his country about 15 years ago. My daughter turned 1 there. And it's all fun and games till that war starts. You start hearing murmurings of war. So we were like, I remember in a restaurant, some of the best Italian food I have ever eaten was in Ivory Coast at an Italian restaurant in Africa. I'm talking, I've been to Italy, and this Italian food that I had at the restaurant in Ivory Coast in Africa was by far the best. Anyway, so yeah, sitting there in the restaurant eating when started hearing somebody call, like, there's about to be a war, this war about to get started, this and that. And it was like, somebody look me, that's when I get real American on you. Somebody say something about war? War? Did you say war? Don't do war. Oh my God. Nobody wants to do war. They don't want to do war. It's kind of interesting how people think that just because people have to deal with war and these horrible atrocities, that in some way it's okay for them. Like in some way, oh, they're used to it. No one ever gets used to violence, death. Nobody is here to die. We come here to survive. We come here to play this game as long as possible. And you got the few that just say, hey, I'm out of here. I just got to cut out. And they cut out early and they will take their own life. But for the most part, we're wired to live. So nobody's used to it. But anyway, I started getting real nervous. And we ended up leaving because it was about to be some elections, and elections be hot. But look, are elections not hot here now? Are they not hot? Are they not hot? Are elections here hotter than firecrackers right now? Hot as fire. So, and these leaders over there, you got ones that are trying to do stuff for the people, and then you got those that are backed by the colonizers, So it gets hot. They put a lot of money, because a lot of money is at stake. Trillions, billions and trillions. I just saw something where I think it was in Uganda. They found like $1 trillion worth of resources. So the game is being played at a high level, which is why unity is so important and our strategy is so important. Because once we do, look, I'm like, it pays to be pro-Africa. It pays. Because listen, that's all that money. Africa got all that money. Who they gonna share it with? We coming home. That's when we gonna get our real reparations. Our own people gonna take care of us. They're gonna be like, y'all had to go over there and endure all that bullshit for 400 years. Come on, come back. We're going to set y'all up in schools. Look, Traore already made education free. I think up to university, just make all that shit free. All y'all black people come over here, go to school, and then we're learning the real history. We're learning Black African history. We're really learning about ourselves in ways that we have never learned before. Which brings me to I got really far ahead. So anyway, everything was fine and good until the war started. And then we got our asses up out of there. And I was like, shoot, that was about to get hot. And I was very glad to not be there, honestly, when the war broke out, because it did break out.
Fighters trying to install the democratically elected Ouattara began besieging the main city of Abidjan today, the last major stronghold of his rival.
But I did feel for the family and stuff. My heart, and I felt, like, dang, you feel like guilty for being out because of the people that you're leaving behind that are going to have to deal with some real shit, so it's kind of interesting place to be. So as things broke out, I wanted to ask Tim one more question. I just felt like I wanted him to answer. How do you feel when war, election time and war and things start getting hot?
Recently had an interview with one of my sisters, Sister Erickka. Shout out to you, sister, for this question. And she asked me, she said, what do you say to people who fear being over here in Africa during coups or political unrest? And then she asked me, do I fear being here during those times as well? And also she asked me, how do I think I would deal with that if I was to find myself in one of those situations? And those were some very, very good questions. So I had to make sure I answered her, of course, but also I wanted to do a real and answer it for you guys as well, because we know that some of our people are dealing with these things eternally. So I want to make sure I answer this to help some of my people out. I'm going to just say this. Man, we were bred in political unrest. The entire society of America is nothing but political unrest. It's not as bad as they showed us on movies with armies running into your house and doing things like that just yet. But think about it. We had to live through Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. And then anytime one of our leaders try to step up and say something to put us into a better position, they assassinate them and take them out. We had Malcolm X in 1965. Then we had Fred Hampton in 1969. And then we had Martin Luther King in 1968. I said those two out of order, but you know what I mean. Anytime we're in that society, there's an opportunity for political unrest to break off, honestly, if we're keeping it real. And we continuously have to deal with racially motivated killings, not only from the police officers, but also some of the citizens within that country as well. As of late, we had Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd, and that was the one that was it for me. When I witnessed George Floyd and I had to see that, I was like, nah, you know what? Let's get to Africa. This ain't it no more. And before he was assassinated, even Malcolm X began to see differently and understand that we needed to come over to the continent of Africa and connect with our brothers and sisters in order to get ourselves in a better position over in America. He created an organization called Afro-American Unity in an effort to connect us with each other so that we can do the work to get the justice that we deserve. So I said all that to say this. No, I don't fear, and no, you shouldn't fear either. Because truthfully and honestly, the only way we're going to be able to get into a better position as a people is if the continent of Africa rises up first, and then the entire diaspora will reap the benefits of us rising up as a whole. So I feel like when you come here, you graduate to fight on another level. So you got to be prepared for whatever come with this.
So I thought that was a very good answer to that question. One of the things that Tim said that really stuck out of my mind was when he said that he feels like Black people, before they come into society, he said that, he pretty much said that they need to detox. They need to be out there, like maybe there'd be some place in the woods, for lack of a better word or whatever. But, this community where you go first and you get kind of acclimated. He said, oh, it's so powerful. Ooh, when he said that about, it's so much toxicity that we've grown up in, and you just gotta get it out. Get them. Oprah started that school over there for the South African women, and it's a great school for them over there. But I feel like we have to start getting our people over there. Yeah, just providing the space for our brothers to start moving out, and our sisters too, start moving out, start shipping them out of here, because this school system is not going to get any better. But as we keep bridging gaps with Africa and the different countries in Africa, the different places, as we start making more bridges, and that's what Tim Ford Jr., the ambassador. He is about, he said God. Another thing, he said God said that they were going to be a bridge. So it's a calling. His work is a calling. And that's why I wanted y'all to see the whole thing. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging with me through this episode. I don't know how long it's going to be. I try to keep these at under an hour. Listen, because I could go, but I am just cognizant of the fact that attention spans. I'm not trying to keep y'all if y'all don't want to be kept. Okay. I can read the room. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. I got a few more comments. This is episode 5. Thank you, Tim. Thank you again, Claude Grunitsky and Tena Anza from last week's episode. If y'all have not seen episode 4, please go back and check it out, because that was the precursor to this episode. Anybody that's seen all 5 episodes, my heart goes out to you. If you've seen any of the other episodes, my heart goes out to you. And if you're just tuning in for this one for the first time, my heart goes out to you. Please, I'm going to say this again, and soon I'm going to get a Patreon, because mama would love to, the more sponsorship I can get, and have, then the more I can bring. Again, I said I would love to start doing some lives, have some live conversation, take questions, and all that good stuff. I want to do that. I want to be even more present. But it's a process, and mama works. Actually, I don't know. I got a job. I have a day job. I actually have a day job. Yes, I do. So I do this when I'm not at my day job, on top of being a mom, All right, y'all. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, share it. Please share it. If something really made you say, tell somebody, hey, maybe you'll like that podcast. The Brew is Back, uncut and uncensored. The Brew, for short. All right, y'all. Thank you. And I will see you for episode 6.